Hi doll fans, I'm the Doll Business and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to be looking at the Harley Quinn Barbie doll as well as the Poison Ivy just in time for Christmas. These were available on Mattel Creations. Harley Quinn sold out almost immediately before I could buy her. Had to get her second hand market. Poison Ivy, I believe, is still on the website. So let's take a look. And as always in all my videos, we'll look at the dolls themselves. How's the facial screening? Is there pixelation? What's the hair type like? How about the articulation? Of course, the clothing and the packaging design. We'll start with Poison Ivy because she's already out of the cardboard shipper. And I ordered 2 of each. I thought I could maybe rebody Poison Ivy for a custom Ale and Anne doll from Sailor Moon or Frankie from Monster High. I'm pretty much always thinking about customizations. So let's see if there's any differences. We have our tissue paper. I don't really see too many differences here. This one's head's tilted upward, but it's just the position in the box. So, and this one has like a straggly hair down at the bottom. This is where it's important to have a healthy dose of comparison skills. Maybe the print of the bodysuit, you'll probably have a preference between them. So I think this one looks just a little bit better. Please comment if you can relate to this struggle. Sometimes I feel like I'm looking at the dolls for an indefinite amount of time before I make a decision. Let's start with the package. I don't love this artwork. DC has a beautiful library catalog of so much good art. I don't know where this is coming from. I guess maybe it was made for this particular doll, but if I'm thinking Poison Ivy, I might think like Jim Lee or a different artist that probably would cost a lot more for the licensing for this package. But there's also the TV show on HBO Max, but it's more of adult level. So maybe they don't want that association, but this doesn't really look like the character. This looks pretty good. It's the doll. I kind of like when the boxes feature the real doll. It doesn't look too different than, like, it's not a different prototype than what we're getting here. So small note, but I don't love this artwork on the side. Also really out of scale with the Little Shop of Horrors plant. It was called Frank in the TV show. Batman, 85 years. That's what we're celebrating here. I bought 2. There's a little bit slanted, so I'm wondering if this joins with Harley's box in a particular way. And it looks pretty simple in terms of opening. If you've watched my videos before, you know I have a couple pets. They usually cameo in the video. You will always hear them. All right, so cutting off that piece of plastic, or just a sticker, we can unbox pretty easily. This is well preserved if I would like to keep it. I like the duotone comic book like graphics we see here. Poison Ivy, very cool. We have her own logo. Barbie signature. Again, for me, the miss is this artwork. I like the background. I really don't like the visuals of the character here. Getting ahead of ourselves. There's some bio to read here, which, again, if you watch my videos, you know I will always appreciate a little bit of characterization, a little bit of a bio. Also, pretty cool. No more than 20K worldwide. We know what we're getting. Wonder if the COA tells me which one. I received. That would be neat, kind of like Integrity Toys does. Call me Poison Ivy. I am nature's fiercest defender. Love that. I can relate. Chlorophyll flows through my veins, toxins leak from my lips, and I take over minds as invasively as my vines. But every thorn has its rose, and I secretly long for connection. Okay, am I reading like a Match.com bio? I've always felt closer to my plants than humans, except for a select special few, like Harl's. Together, we're the queens of crime, ready to take over this concrete jungle of Gotham City. Nature always wins. All right. Seems pretty accurate for the character. This is who's screaming in the background. So the background of the package has that same duotone print. 2024 Mattel Certificate of Authenticity. This certifies that your Poison Ivy Barbie doll was created through the collaborative efforts of designers and artists at Mattel. For me, what's missing here is which designers and artists. Let's give them the credit. So, some first impressions. The face is pretty cool. I like the leaf eyebrow detail and overall makeup. I don't love that the signature Barbies all seem to have smaller eyes. The hair looks really beautiful. It's long. It feels like saran. Looks like a couple tones of red, which I appreciate that more than one flat tone. Looks a little more realistic that way. Headpiece is neat. Could use, maybe a little bit more gradient or some sorts of details. Really love this arm piece. Reminds me of the cartoon, Batman, the animated series. The stockings have a print, which is really pretty cool as well. Stockings also have that, I don't know, sort of like, I feel like Barbie will always have stockings that are shiny of some sort, where it just looks maybe like a little slightly cheap. Here is the card. You can see it's already bent. I'm okay with that, but I mean, maybe I'm not okay with that. Like, I don't want to buy something and have it already be defective, but I'm not planning to keep this, and the doll wasn't super expensive, but I also don't expect this to be shoved in there and fold it. But again, my larger takeaway would be, let's credit the artists and the creators who helped make this. And we have plenty of room on this. Like, why include this without that detail? Because if we like it, maybe we want to support them or know more about them, check out their own Instagram, right? It's not necessarily Mattel that created this. It's a lot of individual people at Mattel who helped make this come together, as well as DC. The bodysuit, I saw a few people say this was a Temu bodysuit, which did give me the idea that, okay, this could be a base, but if I was to go on Temu, I could probably find like a leaf nail art and glue these on top to make this really how I think it should look. So I did that, and maybe I'll customize and feature that at a later point. But I did end up getting a good amount of nail art from Temu to supplement this look. All right, let's release her from these plastic pieces and take a closer look. The unboxing's going okay. I have my crappy kitchen scissors. The plastic T-ties to the back of the head are just really bad. They're pretty much every doll collector's nemesis, or even toy aficionado. No one enjoys this experience. I feel like we're gonna clip the hair or cause some damage inadvertently. And there's better ways to hold the doll in the package. Let's just use like ribbon maybe, or another piece of plastic. Like if we're using this all around, we can maybe use it. There's different ways to do this that aren't this setup. I will specify I am a big fan of Poison Ivy. I'm reading the current comic book series, which is one of the best, as well as big fan of Harley Quinn. So I was excited to see these. We haven't seen either produced by Barbie since I think it was the 90s, and I liked the Harley Quinn one. The Poison Ivy was like weird. She had a wireframe body where there was no like joints. This seemed odd. So happy to see this one. It's kind of neat that she's green. She's either usually just green or Caucasian in the comics or the cartoon. But I feel like it's subtly referencing the cartoon where on HBO Max where she is green. Especially with Frank, the Venus flytrap. It's a pretty cool touch that Mattel chose thread that matched the hair color for this. But it also is quite excessive in terms of an unboxing experience. Excessive in terms of like the number of steps. All right, she is now free. So we have our Venus flytrap. Would like if some of these details were painted, like the teeth, the mouth. In the cartoon he has eyes. I know it's not a direct one-to-one with the cartoon. You may think, ooh, what is this, hair? No, it's that thread that I was telling you about. So, again, thread. But cool that they chose the same shade of red. So, doll is kind of impressive. A little better than I anticipated. I wanted it for the green body. And I like the face a lot more than I thought I would. It also has a really cool rose earrings that dangle. She has beautiful saran hair, perfect length. I feel like the style is pretty decent. What I expect for Poison Ivy, maybe just curled at the end would have been a little more accurate or better looking. Like the length of the hair a lot. And this is one of the like superhero Barbie bodies. Like if you have the Billie Jean King tennis player, or I don't remember if the Puma dolls had the body or not. And we have the bodysuit with Velcro in the back, clear straps that will probably disintegrate and break over time. The gloves, which are a pretty good fit. Her archery weapon, which love that. Headband. So her articulation is, of course, the neck, the shoulders, the elbows, the wrists. So that's a pretty good amount. No chest. It's not exactly, again, the made to move. It's the superhero made to move, which is just a little more muscular in the upper arm as well as some of the leg. And then she has the articulation of the legs, the knees. The stockings feel like they could have been higher or need to be a little higher. It feels like it's gonna rip. Like she cannot do a straddle or probably a split. And the shoes are a pretty cool touch. And right, no articulation at the feet. So, pretty cool doll. The unique fantasy skin tone is probably a plus for some people, probably a detriment for others. My only thing I'd probably change is the face mold. Would like it to be a little, well, just different overall with larger eyes. That's the miss for me. What I would improve here. There's certain things I really like. The hair, the the weapon on her arm, the fact that she was produced. The bio on the box is pretty cool. Things I would want to improve are less just plastic without any painted on details. The bodysuit, I mean, we can see the stitching through it, but it does feel pretty accurate. Just would have done it a little differently, but that would have made the cost probably go up. But wondered what other options were on the table before they chose to run with this one. The gloves, the stockings, they're all really cool. The stockings feel like they could just fit a little better. The hair is a win. The earrings are another win. The thing I would want to also improve is the face mold. This doesn't really look like Poison Ivy to me. So when we have Poison Ivy, then we have a Barbie signature Odile, which probably is the only signature that didn't have the smaller type eyes. Then we have a 90s Barbie, Disney, and of course Monster High. I tend to prefer the ones that look a little more exaggerated or cartoon-like. And this feels like maybe they're trying to go for more like realistic. I don't know. I don't like the proportions here compared to any of these faces or Poppy Parker, but these are a lot more popular doll types, so these are the usual references you're probably going to see in my videos going forward. I feel like this just looks a lot better proportion-wise than the Poison Ivy, where it's like made to maybe look more like a real person, but obviously not. And for anyone like, what are you talking about with plastic without painted details? Like the boots are a great example. This would look really cool if the vegetation was painted another shade of green, or the earrings had maybe pink or red for the rose. I guess red to go with the theming. Same with the headpiece. I watch a lot of review videos and I'm kind of like, okay, but can we just see the costume or can we see the doll's articulation? So let's take a closer look at the costume. You can see what I mean with these stockings. Unfortunately, another downside is they're connected to the bodysuit, which is really a buzzkill for me. Would much prefer these as two separate pieces, and the fact that they don't fit as nicely or as long as I think they should be makes it even harder to salvage this. So that's quite a letdown. Also, this giant Barbie tragic back tattoo. Oh man, not not loving this. Why? The superhero body also tends to have this like weird dimpling effect I've seen on pretty much all of them. You can kind of see it on her stomach here slightly. It's just like weird indentations in the plastic that look like a malfunction. So it's hard to even rank this doll as positively as I did now that I have her outfit apart and I see it's one piece and I see all these kind of like weird markings all over. There's like also a number on her butt. Like, okay, why? I would probably not repurchase this item. But as I said before, the hair is really beautiful. It's rooted nicely as well. It's quite thick. The side part is done really well. There's multiple tones of red, pretty much like what I see here. The lack of any paint on these moldings is another crime. But here we get a good look at the hair, and you can see it's quite densely rooted, which I appreciate. And again, we have this crown, which has no painted on detail. So it's like a constant one step forward, four steps back. Now let's look at Harley. I'm a little more excited for Harley. I purchased these off of eBay from someone who had, I think, 11 of them. I don't know how that works. I don't want to support scalping, but this doll was creeping up and up in price, and I wanted to have two for my collection before it became untenable. So purchase them. But again, like, how does this work? How's someone able to secure 11 and I wasn't able to add it to my cart and check out before it was sold out? Also, Mattel Creations, if we can take a beat, they need to put some money into the website. Design-wise, it's pretty, but it is hard to use. It often crashes. If I'm on a phone, it will crash all the time. It started also crashing on an iPad. I think the best experience is a desktop computer, but a lot of us don't really navigate that way and shouldn't have to. I don't know if it's crashed on a desktop, but that seems to be the only way to check out. And sometimes these drops are late at night or you're just out and it's hard and you don't want to be tethered to a computer that way. The marketing's pretty cool, and I liked the TikTok they did for this, but it is missing the fact that there's only 20,000 of these. Which probably would have been a good detail for people who wanted to sleep on ordering and think about it. Or a motivating factor for the business to, sell them more quickly. All right. Same way, I have 2 Harleys. All right, so this one looks like it has a little bit better detail with the necklace and even the fit of the corset top. So I will open this one. This sun. I appreciate that they went with the more modern outfit, similar to what she's been wearing in the comics for a while, as well as the TV show. Again, I have similar thoughts from the prior, where there's such a great catalog of art that I don't know why this is what was chosen for the package. I don't love it. It's not as bad as Poison Ivy. At least it looks pretty much just like the character. I don't see discrepancies. It's not my favorite look. I don't love the illustration style. And then here she is on the back of the box. I don't love the diamond tear mark, which I guess is an amalgamated version of the movie character and the comic character. Hands are neat. The gloves are painted on. We have the mallet. So first impression is that belt is bad, but I like the outfit a lot, and they have some pretty cool details. All right, so let's read, and again, this is 20K. Hey Puddin', it's me, Harley Quinn. Some say I'm mad, which may be true, but it's better than being boring. From plain old psychiatrist, right? Like that's, an easy come by. Dr. Harleen Quinzel to the adorable clown Quinn of crime. It's been a wild ride. Yeah, I might be bubbly, but don't be fooled. I've got tricks to get into anyone's head and superhuman skills thanks to a toxin antidote injected with love by my IV. Okay, pretty accurate to the comics. We're the queens of crime now, about to make some mayhem in Gotham City. Come on, sweetie, get mommy's mallet. All right. Feels pretty character accurate. So let's unbox and take a closer look. All right, pretty easy to unbox. And again, some notes on the package. Love that they used the character's logo from the comic books. This is all really cool. It does give me a comic book feeling. The colors feel kind of garish. I would think maybe red and green or for Harley, red and black. For Poison Ivy, maybe red and green, or two tones of green. Green and blue would have been maybe a little more considered. Like the back, the pink, the red, the black, that looks like Harley. These all look like random colors. And same with the inside of the box, like that's color coded for the character a little more. And I like that, so I would have carried that through to the outside. The current package art looks like something I would see on DeviantArt, and it's not bad by any means. Just not my, not for me, not my style. I'd be happy if they used my art. So she has, yeah, maybe I should pause before I unbox. I love the composition where she's holding the mallet, and it looks, you know, kind of representational of the character. There's an action pose, tells you a little bit about the personality. That's a cool touch. Here we have our card tucked safely away. I forgot to mention, each character has their own unique stand with their logo. So the inside of the package, no real notes. Actually, wait, yeah, the dot pattern would have been better as a diamond pattern. Or the playing card type pattern. Would have carried that through a little further and probably just been a little more appealing. Here we have Harley out of the box. And when I saw this character, I knew I would not. When I saw this doll, I knew I wanted to get her. Was not going to pass her up. But I also knew there were things I didn't like right away. And for me, the big miss is the face mold.
Oh God, why? Oh.
It's ugly. I don't like it at all. I much prefer the exaggerated or doll-like proportions here. If we had the Odile face or just a classic Barbie or even a Millie face on this doll with same hair, fair complexion, that would knock it out of the park. But here, it's not pleasant to look at. And I'm more so thinking like Margot Robbie from the movie, right? Pleasant to look at. The body type, I would also switch this to a made-to-move body. It would fit a little more with Poison Ivy. The character is a gymnast. She's a little more petite, not as muscular or curvy as Poison Ivy, so that would have made a little more sense. The accessories are pretty accurate and really cool, like the Converse type shoes. Love the stockings. The shoulder pads are such a great touch. The choker, the earrings, all beautiful. The hair is pretty much perfect. Love that if they weren't going to go with a dip dye ombre, love that they rooted it directly underneath the pigtail so we don't see blue elsewhere. It's a different execution, or pink, blue or pink elsewhere. Different execution than I've seen before. The shorts would be great if they had pockets, and this the belt's probably the only accessory that's a miss for me. It just looks clunky and cheap, being this almost like matte gray. Looks like heavy metal. Doesn't really fit the color story. Would prefer if it was a diamond or gold or black or red. The reason I don't put her in near perfect is the face. It ain't it. But otherwise, really love, and maybe switch her to a made-to-move body. And those changes would put her in near perfect or grail, depending upon the execution. I like Harley a lot more than I like Poison Ivy. They both look pretty representational toward the character. I could tell right away who they're supposed to be and some of their personality. Harley looks a little more like the character. Poison Ivy just slightly less, but I don't like either face mold, which I think I've said like 17 times so far. But if you like this face mold, or you disagree with what I'm saying, let me know in the comments and maybe why.
Let's take a better look at the outfit. So it closes in the back. It has this, like I said, god awful belt. The shorts are really cool. I fear this type of fabric is going to kind of flake off and decay over time, like some other pleather like fabrics. The stockings are one of my favorite pieces. Love the playing card details and the star, the knee pads. The mallet's okay. I have a couple Harleys from all sorts of different series, so I do have a better mallet overall. But if I didn't, I would probably enjoy this one. The corset top or bustier top, pretty accurate. Love the choker, like I said. The hair is nearly flawless. And then we have this terribly, like, nightmare fuel inducing face that I really just, I don't like looking at. It looks like something from, like, a nightmare or a horror movie. Or kind of like she hit too much Joker gas and there's no salvaging her. Also, really love the shoes. Quite a cool touch. Here's a better look at the knee pads, which pretty neat that they come off, as well as the stockings, which are multi-tonal. Love that. And the fact that they're translucent, very cool touch. This is Velcro in the back with a very long tag, almost like a CVS receipt. And she also has that terrible affliction of a giant Barbie tattoo on her back and somewhat of the markings that the other superhero mold had as well, though it's not as obvious. So this is better.
So that is my review. I hope you learned something. I hope you got something out of this. If you're thinking of buying these dolls or if you have these dolls, now's the time to let me know what you think. Let's talk about it. Did you like them? Are they what you expected? Did you want to see more of this? I really love superheroes and I love dolls. So re- grew up reading comic books, watching Batman the animated series. Really love these characters. Happy to see them represented, and wanted to get them and do a little bit of customization and create my own versions for Poppy Parker, which is what I do, which is probably not a popular doll. Probably would be a lot more popular if I just stuck to classic Barbie, but that's what I like. All right. Thank you and see you next time.